Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootleggers, shills, desolations, and fascists. I'm a useful idiot, and today we're going to talk about Palestine again, Palestine and Israel. So yesterday, of course, Palestine took the next step toward statehood and got recognition in the UN as a non-member. And, of course, Israel promised, as did the U.S., that there would be some forms of retaliation for that move, and particularly because of its success. So, today, Israel made good on their promise to punish Palestine by announcing 3,000 new homes will be built on the occupied West Bank for Jewish settlers. So here we go. Here we go. This is how it goes. So not only do we have the tit for tat in the military operations, but we also have tit for tat in these land grabs and these political, economic moves. And this, of course, hits Palestinians where they live, literally. So this is important because the main catch for Palestinians negotiating with Israel is they want the settlements in the West Bank to stop. And, of course, Israel's main point to negotiations is they want to basically be the only party that decides who and what the Palestinian state will be. They want direct negotiations with Israel in the setup of any Israeli state and no unilateral or international involvement. And of course they would. They want to lay down the terms. They want to make sure that Palestine gets as less a piece of the land as possible. So let me give you a little background on Jewish settlers. The number of illegal Jewish settlers that are in the West Bank area now has doubled in the time that Netanyahu's been in power. So this proves that he is not serious about a two-state solution, and certainly not the way that the two-state solution has been presented. He probably has something a lot more radical in mind. Let me also remind people that these Jewish settlers are very orthodox, very strict, and they are armed and dangerous. And they treat the Palestinians in the West Bank much as the white settlers did North American Indians in the old American West. So not a good situation. So now we have 750,000 of these Jewish settlers in the West Bank, and they are internationally recognized as illegal settlements, and they've been a hang-up in negotiations with Palestine for many years, if not decades. And who can blame Palestine? So let's look at the situation. So the only part of the original Palestinian state that is left and is not in Israeli hands is the West Bank and East Jerusalem. And yet, Israel continues to settle in this land that is supposedly going to be part of the state of Palestine. And then they also have the city of Israel, which a city of Jerusalem, which the Palestinian state wants East Jerusalem to be the capital of their new Palestinian state. And of course, Israel has special plans for Jerusalem as well. So now, with these settlements, not only is Israel permeating land that is supposedly going to be part of Palestine with nearly 1 million Israelis, but he wants to isolate East Jerusalem from the West Bank through these settlements so that the very capital of Palestine would be an isolated city in the middle of an Israeli state. And who would stand for that? So I don't want to go into the whole story, but let me remind you how ironic it is that in the original clash in Palestine, when the exodus of Jewish settlers came there, the UN stepped in 1948 and created a settlement where essentially 50% of the land would go to the Palestinians and 50% would go to the Israelis. And ever since that declaration, there's been a land grab by the Israelis to the point now where the only part of the original Palestine that Israel is offering to the Palestinians is the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The Gaza Strip, where the Palestinian state exists now, is land that Israel won from Egypt in the 1967 war, which technically is not legally theirs as well. So how ironic that the Israelis essentially are having trouble creating a Palestinian state in land that isn't even theirs, that they got from Egypt in 1967. So, and that is the very heart of why this just keeps going on and on and on and on, and why these parties would not be more interested in solving this problem, this age-old problem, right now, because it would calm things down through the Middle East a little bit more, because as everyone should be aware now, the plight of the Palestinian people has been a big part of the rise of terrorism and radical Islam and militancy and causes across the Middle East. So it's in everyone's best interest to solve this problem. And the fact that Netanyahu is being so obstinate and so vindictive and so petty, again, proves that he has a apocalyptic vision, and he will not budge one bit. And I think his radical vision is to make sure that the West Bank and East Jerusalem are also part of Israel, that every speck of land that used to belong to Palestine would now be Israel, and the new Palestinian state would be carved out of merely the Gaza Strip, land that they got from Israel. And just to make sure that Netanyahu is clear, he even said he dismissed the UN vote as meaningless and accused Abbas of delivering a defamatory and venomous UN speech full of mendacious propaganda. And that's quite a compliment, coming from a man who is the king of defamatory and venomous UN speeches, Mr. Netanyahu himself. So, as we can see, this will continue to go on and on and on and on. The plight of the Palestinian people is hardly ended, and Netanyahu is showing us further madness, a man that makes me very nervous indeed. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.